kiocha Mwenda Saba TV.
This is Mwenda Saba TV.
Yes, karibu sana ndene ya Mwenda Saba TV na muthenya na arua twina professor na ituli ndene ikarogiki na kiure kira kinene tukurania we ari muntu ritene aritwegitarira ja mono mbinu ira thirikari ratumire gushugurikira aritoba Butere Girls na turegitarira drama festival nje imbinu ire ngira kire thirikari ino ngira jama inge itukojere na professor aruki irora na prof. Good morning.
Morning to you.
You know anto barurania atiri records of war ugatega uri aritoba Butere baragita mushetho jure na history ya Kenya mishetho yarangano gitwe mingi ura thirikari ratumire mbinu ya kubashugurikira maybe ni untu buragirite kwa untu norita nari tono inabonde ne university
butagirite kinya nini. I think thirikari yabwithirie raitawa overreaction na yamba gwithira kinya the author of that play didn't it as a bit knowing it too well predicting to how the thirikari can react.
Yes,
Miago ogyaguile through history literature is a reflection, is a mirror which reflects society.
yes,
And therefore is reflecting the government of the day. So a proper government knows that and therefore allows to see itself in the mirror. You know, in there's a book we did in Form 4 as a setting book for literature. It's called The Government Inspector. One of the things Nikolai Ngogo says is the author of The Government Inspector. He says there is no point of smashing the mirror because your face is ugly. So if you smash the mirror, it doesn't fix your ugliness. So that is what the government did. It was smashing the mirror, and that was not clever. Personally, I didn't know anything about that play. I've never heard of it. And that can probably be true for 90% of the Kenyans. But what did the government do? They have advertised the thing, not just in Kenya, internationally. Now everybody want to know that they can book. That fellow is going to be a rich man. The author. Because now everybody want to buy it, read it, and they see what they say that scared the state this much. Because you see, in the people's mind, the state is all powerful. And in fact, thirikari niyo murungu nde murungu nde ndu murungu rangare oro thirikari nende bibi bate temya na inyo me anto bagenda gona ni bibi tetemeti anto ba ko era itawa overreaction and unnecessary one, lakini it has come to define this government. There are two things that could be happening with the President Ruto. There is a theory in governance. It's called the man-to-man theory. And the man-to-man theory says this, that if you want to execute an evil design against, say, a state, because it's a governance theory, or against a cooperation, what you do is you do crazy things. You do chaotic things. Can run to focus in the chaos. And you are busy here executing the real plan. So those things could be happening simultaneously. Even to opposition, if I get good advisor, they need to sit and think carefully what is Ruto really planning. Okay?
Yes.
Because Ruto could be planning to create conditions under which people accept chaos in the next election. If he has concluded that they cannot win properly, fairly. So he can start now conditioning you to accepting the chaos. Now, how does he do that? He overreacts over nothing. And then you say, but now what's wrong with this guy? So you concentrate. You concentrate on that. A clever diversionary tactics, which looks foolish. That's why it was called the man-to-man theory. It was actually coined during the administration of Richard Nixon in America, and it has been perfected by Donald Trump. Because the things Trump was saying in the campaign, that was all man-to-man theory. People eating pets, people eating dogs, people eating cats. Nobody was eating cats. But he says as if it's actually happening. So people focused on outrageous pronouncement of Donald Trump. Meanwhile, down here, he was campaigning to be elected and he was elected.
Yes.
So the Kenyans who wish to replace William Ruto, they need to lock themselves in a room and try to figure out what exactly is Ruto planning. Yes.
No, tugishoka ukiri ari baba prof the Gen Zs. Nuko najaka thirikari ya Kenya yere mbinu ira bagutumira kinya message yote ya kumegitara finance bill mwanka thai arito baba Butere. Nuko najaka thirikari kubero exactly kira bakugeria kuga.
No, thirikari itakuelewana ba and there's a kwebio fundamentally bakumiss. Nobody has ever won against children. The apartheid regime in South Africa was brought down by the children after the Sharpeville massacre of 1976, I think. The apartheid regime never recovered and eventually it fell. So, arguably, you can say that the apartheid regime was a little bit more stronger because that was a foreign element.
Yes.
But this one is a local one. So a war with these young people, it will not end well for the government and also for stability of Kenya if we continue. Because they practiced. They put their soul in that play.
Yes.
Then you come with the power. You tell them you can't do it because you have power. They don't surrender. They go with that anger and try to radicalize the others. So you end up radicalizing an entire generation. If you radicalize an entire generation, my friend, it is in difficulty.
Can you turn into a generational war?
Well, not just generation war. You are cooking a rebellion. You see what it shows.
Yes.
You know, remember there was a court order. Ordering the plane be changed. So what you told those children is the court order does not matter. The power, raw power, matters. In other words, when you ignore the law, you cook a rebellion in the opposite direction. So what has happened here is the government on a daily basis has continued to ignore the law. It's radicalizing the youth. And the radicalized youth is a very dangerous community of individuals.
You know, Prof, I was shocked to hear that the very Butere Girls, the Shackles of Doom, 2013.
Yeah.
No, in 2013, umo wakili ro kuba represent kotini dhaidi ari muritoa wa Butere Girls 2013. Now, yes. Naru no ku represent bank. I mean, is it possible tuga statistic ka murutirajo Gen Z bena ju up to 2017 abombo olinga kuri gatana uti kugarura dirikari
yo ka sustain ka it to me if I was the President Ruto and if I was an advisor I would tell him that very many of these young people are turning 18 on a daily basis.
Actually kinyaba bara reform to that.
Yeah, they're turning 18 on a daily basis.
Yes.
And this country is 76% young people. Our generation is only 25%. You understand?
Yes.
This is not a group to antagonize. It will not be clever. Also with the information availability of information.
Yes.
Because in the Kano era, information never traveled anywhere. There was only Voice of Kenya, the KBC, and the radio. There was nothing else. Right now, as a more thing, everybody knows about it. Globally, not just in Kenya, globally. Okay? What they are doing is not intelligent. I think if I were the president, I will fire every single advisor I have. Because there is possibility. You know, you have to look at the president of the republic. There's a possibility he didn't even know what they were doing in Nakuru. There's a possibility these imprisoned bodies thinking they are clever, lacking in wisdom, because they may have education, but then they lack wisdom. They ordered the police to go and do all the things the police did there, and the police works on orders. So they went and did it. And possibly the president even didn't know. If I were him right now, I would fire everybody connected with that action, because that action has exposed the government very badly. You can't have a government that is afraid of what you're doing.
True.
Things don't go like that.
Now, to another angle, we point you more raise very serious, that thirikari Kenya Kwanza ni gukara mono mono jake gwitikiria chaos. Otega last Sunday Gachagua na ari kanisa Kasarani engatwa nkomango nengatija iri Samoei Limuru everywhere yagwita no kuona kwina gwa entertain chaos. Kasarani Peter Sarasia akiona mubira aje ukeni Kenya Stadium auro nengatwa. So I mean thirikari ukaraja kana uti muntu igwata akejukirie tagaria muntu nakarendea kurimbi gutuma thirikari ikaraja akegwa entertain chaos.
Pamoja kwa ukweli, kwa upendo inakuwa Mwanasaba TV tunasimulia matumaini, safari yetu tuko pamoja, kila sauti, kila ndoto inang'ara kwenye kioo cha Mwanasaba TV.
This is Mwenda Saba TV.